Hi cats and kittens, this is Lex, and you are watching the Crochet Fiber. Please prepare to fiber. Alright, just wanted to say hello to everybody. Hope you guys this week has been going pretty well. Mine has gone interestingly, as always, and I am determined to be positive no matter what. So that's really the way I'm looking at the situation. Honestly, I am not an optimist by nature. I'm kind of a realist, but I think for the purposes of my life right now, it is a good idea to stay positive. So, again, I'm Lexicom. You can find me as, actually I'm Lex, but Lexicom, you can find me as Lexicom on Ravelry. I'm occasionally on Instagram as Lexicom with a 3 because I am pleased. And that's about it. I have not gotten into Twitter as much as I should, and so I don't even remember my Twitter name. Any trons. As you can see, I am wearing a finished object with this lovely, lovely shawl pin that I got from Jamie's Metalworks, which I will talk about in a little bit. Well, actually, I'll talk about it now, because first I want to tell you, this is a crochet, spinning, fibering podcast. It is niche, but I like it that way. And here is a little bit of news. I will be at the Cognitive Retreat in Tehachapi, California in, I believe it's 2 weeks. I believe it's the 10th or the 11th. And I'm so psyched. Let's rewind a couple years. Until about 2011, I lived in SoCal for a really long time, and I met these really fantastic people, and I met this wonderful woman, and she did everything. She knew everything. She was just engaging to talk with and a really fun person to learn from. And she started a podcast, and it kind of blew up, and she's awesome and amazing. And her name is Dr. Gemma, and her podcast it's not a podcast, it's cognitive, and it's just fantastic. She's a psychologist by trade. She has really interesting things to talk about. She's always working on really great projects, and she has really worthy causes she gets behind. I am all about that. I think that's fantastic. And so I'm really looking forward to going to her retreat. She started the retreats, I believe, 7 years ago. I have been to every single one and have taught at like 2 or 3 of them. And I will be teaching knock on plastic. So I'm really excited about that. So that's a little bit of news. As you can see, I am wearing a finished object. This is something that I talked about in episode 1 that I finally got done. But we will get to that when we get to wearable art. So let us get into our segments. We've got some kitting it out. We've got the bucket list project. We've got wearable art. We've got finally some Spinmeister, and we will talk about what we will be doing with Tunisian tack. I hope you enjoyed episode 1A. It was just casting on in the Tunisian weave way. And if you followed the instructions, the thing that's really interesting about that particular cast on is it shows you how to do a standard Tunisian weave knit stitch. And so I hope you got a chance to take a look at that. I'm really excited about it. So, but we've got kitting it out, and I'll talk about the things that I'm working on and the things I'm really in love with. So here are my kits in no particular order, especially since I don't remember the number. I will update the numbers and the relevant information on the YouTube notes. So stay tuned. So this is a kit that I just took a look at. This kit has 2 skeins of Shiraito. Isn't this lovely? Hope you can see. This is Noro, and this is Shiraito. It's 45% cashmere, 45% Angora, and 10% wool. So I've got two skeins of this with 3 skeins of this. This is Ilana. This is Ilana Rimu. So it's a really interesting yarn. It's a possum yarn. I believe it is 60% fine New Zealand merino and 40% brushtail possum. And there's some stuff you might want to educate yourself on before purchasing it. I'm told this is a very controversial yarn. I have a sweater out of it and a wrap out of it, and I really, really love it. I think I have 3 skeins of this, 3 balls of this, and I'm going to make a wonder cowl, which I will show you when we get to Wearable Art. I'm really, really excited about that. So there's that. And the other kit project I'm really interested in right now. I also don't remember which number this is. No, I believe this is kit the 18th. And it's called Starshine. And it's an idea I've had for a very, very long time. That's what it is. I'm essentially doing the star stitch. You can see, and it's kind of semicircular. And the yarn I'm using is Violet Lynx. The yarn itself is called Oberon, and it's the blue to violet colorway. 100% cashmere, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I'm pairing it with something I'm really excited about, a verb for keeping warm. Everybody knows about her. She's like legendary. She dyes using natural dyes, and this is Indigo, and I go to her shop once a quarter and she dyes blues, but they disappear the minute they get in the store, so you kind of have to be quick. And I was lucky and picked up one. And this is an NCN, and it's about 565 yards, 4 ounces. This is about 600 yards, 4 ounces. So I'm going to use both of these to make a really, really pretty, interesting shawl that I will show you and talk about a little bit later. So those are the things that I'm kitting out, and we get to talk about my bucket list project. I have been looking forward to the wonderful, wonderful fall season, and the issue with fall season is I get cold. I'm always cold. I'm always cold in general, but I'm severely cold. I'm really chilly during the fall season because the weather shifts so quickly. My body doesn't have a chance to really get used to it, so I get really cold really fast. And because of that, I figured I should start something and just have it waiting until once the weather gets chilly. Now, the project I'm working on is something I created. It's just called a chunky popover, and the yarn I used is very interesting though. First, let me show you what it is. This is it. It's an in the round popover, pullover, and Tunisian weave simple stitch, and it's done in the round. You can see a little line; it will block out. I'm showing you this because I don't want you to get the wrong impression. Tunisian is not perfect, but you can really figure out and do really interesting things. For example, this cowl neck was a lot bigger, a lot taller, but I tried it on and I realized that it was like covering my chin and my face, and it was just too big. So I slip stitched on the inside, and it's a firmer neck, but it's gonna work out really nicely. And I did some darts for my bust, and I also did a teeny tiny little cable at the edge. And the whole idea for this is when I'm layering, slipping on a shirt, a work shirt or something like that, slip this over it, and it'll keep my core warm. So I'm really, really excited. The yarn is a brand new yarn. I I love new yarns. I gotta tell you, that is my kryptonite. And before life took an interesting shift, I always try to get really, really unusual yarns early on in my life. And I always wanted the new yarns. So, not too long ago, Brooklyn Tweed announced that he was coming out with a third yarn. He already had Loft and Shelter, and he came out with a yarn of Quarry. This is Quarry in the Geode colorway, which is a, I don't know how that's going to read here, but it's a lovely gray with a lot of tweedy bits, and there's also a purple undertone that's really beautiful. And I didn't have anything like that in my wardrobe, so I thought that would be an interesting color to add. And it's very neutral, so it's going to look good with just about anything. And so far, what do I have to say about this yarn? I was a little concerned when I first picked up the skein, and here's why. The story has a happy ending, but I was a little concerned. About Stitches, was it Stitches? Yeah, Last Stitches West. I wore this gray sweater that I designed, and it's I consider it design when I made it, even if I didn't wear out the pattern. I created, and it was beautiful, it was lovely, it was made out of Columbia, and I washed it and blocked it, and put in the sleeves, and it looked great, and it felt great on, and I put it on, and I could not stand it against my neck. And the thing that made me a little concerned was I'm normally not that sensitive. I love less soft fibers. While some people will call me a yarn snob, I consider myself a yarn appreciator, so I have all sorts of stuff in my stash, and I work with all sorts of stuff. So I was a little concerned. I tried to wear that Columbia sweater for the longest, and I finally had to throw it out, because it was just too uncomfortable on my skin. So when I purchased the Quarry, the first hour I worked with it, actually the first 2 or 3 hours, I was starting to get itchy, and I couldn't leave it on my lap when I was wearing shorts, because it would just, the fiber would feel uncomfortable, and I was really scared that I would have to get rid of it. But I realized that the issue was there's a lot of edge matter in this yarn. You can go online and read about what's good about Quarry. The fact that it's 3 unspun bits of fiber, strands of fiber that are kind of spun, so they look like the singles, but they're stronger than typical singles. You still can break them apart really easy with your hands, but however, it's a really easy. It gives that really yummy appearance of singles without being weak. If that makes sense. That is really cool. Again, the thing that you might want to keep an eye on is if you're really, really sensitive, it may or may not be for you. I found it was working perfectly for me, and I started this project on Sunday, and I finished it on Tuesday. And I gotta tell you, it still needs to be washed and blocked, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. But I used a cable. I did a cable right there, and a braid. It's not as easy to see, but it's easier than when the first version of this came out. And it's a cable. It's a braid. It'll show better when I wear it when it's done. And there's a little cable that's mirrored in the front, and it's just I love it. I love this so much. I have a kit already made up using Shibui's My yarn, which is an alpaca merino blend that is the yarn is cabled, so it's very springy and spongy. And I'm going to make another one of these in that and see how I like that, because that's a more accessible fiber and it's easier to get a hold of than the Geode, than the Quarry, which is probably not going to be available to everybody. But it's a great yarn so far. I can't wait to wash it and block it and see how it works out. So that is my bucket list project, and it's actually it's not quite wearable art yet because I haven't had a chance to wear it out in public, but I love it. I gotta show you. I'm so thrilled. There's a technique that I'm teaching myself that allows me to get a really, really good edge on my seam. On my seam. It's incredible. And I will show you. This is Tunisian in the round. So it shows you how to. So I'm hoping to, when I get a chance to sit down and work on a tech episode where I talk about how to do this in the round and how you want to. But yeah, that is my project. The yarn is awesome. I worked this up in an L, which is 8mm, and it was just an easy, cozy work. It breaks easy if you're trying to break it, but just normal working, it's pretty solid. I'm really, really pleased. Yeah. On that note, let's move on to wearable art. Now, we can start with this piece. This is my journey wrap, and I finished it about 2 or 3 hours ago, so I haven't updated it in Ravelry. I love this piece because I've made a couple of them, and the shawl pin is from Jamie's Metalworks, and he will also be at Tehachapi at the Coconut Fiber Retreat. I will have a link in the show notes about how you can get yourself into the retreat if there's any space available. It's a fun time, and there are some really great things. This person is also someone I know personally who is a fantastic artist. He's a great crocheter, and his wife is a fantastic crocheter. Everybody, they're just fantastic people. The Antelope Valley has bred some amazing, some amazing creativity there. So that is his shawl pin. This is the wrap. Let me undo the shawl pin so I can show you what's going on here. Actually, let me take this off first and you can see what's going on here. Forgive my hair, it will be swoopy and a little bit unwieldy because that's how my hair rolls. At least you can't see the grays, right? So, and let me remove the shawl pin. Shawl pin's a little heavy when I wear this wrap in a regular way, but there's a lot of ways to wear it, and that's why I like it. So here's the wrap. There is an ombre section where there are color changes. It's a really interesting pattern. And then on the bottom, well, on the other side, there is a yummy, really simple stitch. And the yarns used, these yarns are Shibui Silk Cloud, and the other strand that I worked with it was Plymouth Yarns Linaza, which is a alpaca tinsel linen blend. And for this yummy bottom part, which is honestly my favorite part, this does need to be blocked, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it anytime soon. This is a purple, it's a purpley black. And the yarns are, one of them is a Lichtfaden Silk Camel. That yarn came out of Germany, and the colorway was Bad Romance. And the black was La Nuit from Jade Sapphire and the Silky Cashmere blend. So it's a really luxurious piece. I essentially made triangles and joined them at the end. And I gotta tell you, it's a very versatile piece. I've worn it as like just a cover up. You can wear it as like a shirt. I wear it as a cowl primarily because that's how my life works. Let me show you. There's a lot of different ways to wear it. Did I put it on wrong? You really can't put it on wrong, but there's a lot of different levels and a lot of different everything. You just flip it on. It's a really easy wearable piece. Sometimes, and I've done this a couple of times, I pull my arm through the loop. Make sure I have everything set up correctly. And then it's just like this wrappy, pullovery thing, and it sits really nicely and it's really warm. And I wear it over really simple clothes, and I really like the way it turns out. It's one of my favorite pieces, and I just like it. I like it that it's very functional, and I can wear it with just about anything, and I can dress it up or down, and I can use a shawl pin and essentially fold it in half, and then you have a very respectable cowl. And it's great. I love this piece. I'm going to make another one. I might be making one for my mom. She's coming out to visit the Bay Area in a couple of weeks, and I kind of want to have something for her. And I think she would like, and I think she'd like something that's a little more usable than the things I end up making her and she doesn't wear. So, this is how I was wearing it before. And it just kind of lingers wherever you want it to, and that to me is kind of the way I like wearing things. Easy to wear, easy to manipulate, easy to keep you warm. So this is one of the pieces that I've worked on, and this is the journey wrap, and it really is literally 2 triangles. It's fun. I like it. So there's that. Please forgive my creative hairstyle. Sorry. Anyways, so we got. Oh! I'm so excited. Here is another finished object that I believe I was showing you last week that I was still working on. I finished it. It's my professional sweater, and it's made out of the Trinity yarn, Trinity Worsted, and that was 80 or 70% merino superwash, 10% cashmere, 10% silk. And the superwash is something I always forget about. It turns a very fitted piece into a very drapey piece. I took that into consideration last time, and I used, I believe, a 5.5 hook on this. No, a 5 hook on this. And just worked a really simple, this was in pieces, bottom up, and I really love the details, like this little stitch at the bottom that's repeated on the sleeves, and this really great edging. I love everything about this. I'm really excited, and I'm going to see if I have any non-superwash yarn in my stash. I'm not really sure that's the case, and if it isn't, we might have to rectify that and make another one. So I'm really excited. I think this is gorgeous. I do have some Rimu that's in my stash that I might do. I might make another one with, because I want like standard, really basic sweaters and really in a lot of different colors, so I can kind of move away from store-bought. That's kind of my goal. What else am I wearing? Oh, my Fauxweight Cardigan. I think we talked about this last week. I haven't blocked it yet, but it's done. It's been blocked. And I've been wearing it all around the house and outside of the house when I've been running errands, and it's extremely drapey, extremely lovely, and extremely easy to wear. So I am super psyched about this piece. It's lovely, and I love it. And I believe I mentioned what it was made out of last week, but these regular color, the main color is I don't remember the German, but it was a We're Different skein from Woolmiza and Lace Darn, and it was a really dark navy blue, and we had the blue spruce and the black with benefits, and Jade Sapphire, silk merino, no, silk cashmere. So I love this piece. I'm going to make another one. I just haven't figured out what yarn to use with it yet. So there's that. And we've got two other things I've been wearing. This is something that I made a while ago, maybe 6 months ago. And this is my Braided Shrug. You can see there's a nice little braid, the sleeves. I love this thing. It's kind of like a shawl that you can stick your fingers through, stick your arms through. I love this piece. It's great. I wear it all over the house, and it just sits there. It just sits there, not being a problem. I dig it. And the yarn is Madeline Tosh. I believe this is Tosh DK, like 225 yards, and I think I used 3 skeins. And this is all Tunisian leaf stitch. I love this piece. It's great, and I wear it practically all the time. And let's see. Here's another thing you've seen before. I've decided on a name for it. I'm calling it Geometry Subverted. This thing goes with me everywhere. I do not leave home without it. It's fantastic. Great little wrap around my neck. It's fantastic. I just love this piece. I really do. And finally, the last thing I have is the Wander Cowl. I believe I mentioned one of the kits I was working on. One of the kits that I had with the cashmere and the Rimu, I was going to make a Wander Cowl. This is what the Wander Cowl looks like. It's my own pattern. As we move through our Tunisian tech, I will probably make this available, but I'd want people to know how to make it before I put it out there. So I love this piece. I brought it up because my mother sent me a couple of boxes of snacks and clothes and stuff. And the last time I visited her, I wore this, and I forgot to bring it back, and she put it in the box for me. Thank you, Mama. And the yarn is this Cascade. I forgot what it was called, but it was a merino alpaca like the Mai, and it's cabled. And this is a merino ribbon from, the name escapes me. But anyway, it's a great cowl. I wear it. Once I got it home, I've been wearing it all over the place. I love this piece. And I'll make another one with the Rimu and the Shiraito tomorrow. So that'll be really pretty, I think. So, is that everything? Yes. My cupboard is bare in the wearable art section. So let's go to Spinmeister. So, I mentioned last week that I do spin. I have several wheels. The wheel I'm currently madly in love with is Pennyworth. It is an Ashford electric wheel, and it sits on top of my Zucca in my bedroom, and it's a really great wheel. It spins everything. So, which is good, because fast forward to about June. Rewind to about June of this year. It was either early June or late May. I can't remember when. But every year in NorCal, there is a spinning event at the Retzloff Winery. And everybody goes, all the Fiberistas go. And I don't mean just the really famous ones you've heard of at podcasts that you're obsessed with, just like I am. But I also mean people who do not have podcasts, who really, if you meet them, you would beg them to have a podcast, and who have I'm thinking in particular of a lady who has the most divine spinning wheels ever known to man. And you talk to her for 10 minutes and you want to be your best friend forever. She just has all these amazing wheels, and she's such an interesting person. But I was at Retzoff, and in the spirit of the moment and meeting with some really great people and getting enabled, I picked up a fleece, and I did as I was instructed by other fiberists. We shall remain nameless, but it is a rather fibery fiberist and a rather popular fiberista. And so I picked up this beautiful fleece. I don't remember who the person was who had the fleece, but it's somebody who always wins the black sheep and wool. Her sheep always win, and I picked one of her really small fleeces, and I spent way more than I thought I was going to. Yikes. But it was beautiful. So I took it over to Sherry Sherry. Gosh, what's it called? I don't have that in my notes. So there is a fiberist who has a wool cleaning service, and she's amazing. And if I don't remember it here, I will put it in the notes. I'm so sorry. It's Sherry. Moral Fleece Works. There we go. Awesome. She's amazing. She's always talked up. If you've watched any of the fiberists of note, they have probably mentioned her once or twice. And so I took my fleece and just handed it to her husband, gave them my relevant beats, and in mid-August, my fleece was ready to come home. So I picked it up and I started working through the fleece. I think it started with like almost maybe it was 3 pounds, and it came back as 2.6 or something like that. It was a really good, she did a really good job. There's still some DM in it, and your pins are crinkling, please forgive. I don't know if you can see it, but these are the balls that are left of my first bag. I got 3 bags full of fiber, and here is the ball. I work a ball a session, and I still have probably 10 or 12 balls in this bag, which is the first bag. But here's what the finished, I applied some, just in case, and I'm curious, bobbins, or I applied to see what I wanted. And here are the 3 skeins, and they are all 3-ply. And I gotta tell you, I am super psyched. I'm at about 350 yards, I believe, and they are just great bits of yarn. I'm super excited. They're so gorgeous, and I'm so happy to have them. I'm going to make a sweater out of this. It's definitely going to be sweater yarn. I'm thinking, right now it feels like it's going to be a worsted. If it's a worsted, I have some ideas in mind. I might do another professional, and with that color would be amazing. And it's not super wash, so it wouldn't, the shaping issues that I found with super wash probably won't be an issue. Really, really excited. Pennyworth has proven to be an excellent wheel, and I love it. I love him so much. All my wheels are named after the bat family, and in that note, I'm transitioning to a kind of a sad aspect of my Spin Meister moment. I talked years and years ago, I had a conversation with a podcaster, and we were talking about wheels. This was probably 2012-ish, 2010-ish, 11-ish. And I was talking to this fiberist and the spinner, and we were both obsessed with spinning, and we were talking about how spinning wheels just want to be spun. They don't want to sit and be looked at. They want to be spun. And that's always been true. I've always felt the need, if I was going to bring wheels into my stable, they need to be spun. But I found in the last couple years, I have a couple of wheels that I've acquired that weren't getting spun, and it makes me really sad. But I am going to get rid of two of my wheels. One of them is a Heavenly Hand Spinning Aspera wheel, and that is my baby Damien. And I will have a picture of that for Ravelry. And the other wheel, actually, I'm probably even more disappointed about. Shacked wheels are amazing. Everybody should have one. Eventually, I want a matchless, but the space in my apartment, I can't justify it. There is no place in my apartment where it would fit comfortably. So I picked up a sidekick because I figured I'd love a sidekick. And while it's an excellent wheel, we haven't been making friends. I used to use her. That wheel is Barbara Gordon. I used to use her primarily for applying because she applied deliciously well. But me and her just don't have that vibe going, and I can't figure out why, because everybody else I've talked to has only had wonderful things to say about that wheel. And so I think I'm going to be letting Barbara Gordon go as well. I'm going to put both of those wheels up in the Spinners, Spinners Marketplace on Ravelry if you're interested, and with the relevant deeds, and you can PM me if you're interested. I like to keep it local, but I'm all up for free shipping in the continent of the United States. So there's that. I think I said everything I needed to say today. We will have an episode 2A coming out where I will be building on the Tunisian weave cast on, and we will be talking about the Tunisian weave knit stitch and the Tunisian weave simple stitch, because those are really the basis for all the stitches you will be doing in that kind of process. And once we get to probably the Tunisian purl, well, you know what a Tunisian purl is, but I have a Tunisian weave reverse stitch, and after that I'll probably insert a free pattern for everybody to take a look at and become acquainted with, and maybe we can do a cowl or something. If you think that's interesting, drop me a line, let me know. Regardless, I'm going to do that because I think it's really important for me to keep expanding my understanding of this particular stitch, and I really want to see how that turns out. Well, cats and kittens, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm going to go relax and enjoy this wonderful Tuesday afternoon, and hope to see you soon. Toodle.